Greenlight NYC, the general. I'm in the building with Wahida. This is the Greenlight NYC show, but it's a takeover by this guy right here. His name is Hip Hop Motherfucking Mike. He's in the mix. You know him from Hot 97, but we want to know what's happening now. He's doing a lot. Hip Hop Mike in the building.
Hey, thank you, man. It was a wonderful intro. You already know. We in here. We hanging out. You know, I got some good loud pack. Shout out to Sig the Trig. We vibing, man. What's up? I'm here.
Mike, for those that don't know, let them know where you from, man.
I'm from all over. I mean, I was born in Queens, raised in Brooklyn, Long Island. I lived in Florida for a year. I was in a group home all the way in Suffolk County. I've been everywhere, all over the place.
That's something that I definitely want to talk about because me personally, I've worked with group home kids. I work in residential facilities. So that, like, you know, it catches a tune with me. And just real quick, talk about that. The struggles that you were going through as living in one of those places.
Nah, for sure. I mean,
were you getting home visits and shit, or what you was doing? You was there?
Really? I mean, after like the first year and a half, they gave us like weekends. I had like 1 weekend a month. They would let us go, but it's different, man. It's like when you out and running around the streets, you going to school and all is like one thing, but when you're in a group home, everything is structured for you down to like when you waking up, when you going to bed, when you're cleaning, when your teeth brushing time, you get bathroom time, like. It's crazy, man. I mean, it was definitely, I owe a lot to it because it kept me out of trouble. Like, I got in a lot of trouble before I went away. And then when I was stuck in there, I was like, you know what, I don't want to do nothing bad again.
Yeah.
And it definitely pushed me into music a lot. Like, just having that time to sit with, like, you know, the records coming out there and the mixtapes. But, yeah, man, group home life is no joke. It was different.
Do you ever go back to group homes or maybe even the group home that you were in? And talk and let the youth know, like, yo, I came from this. I think that's really, really important right now, especially with the youth, especially with the kids coming up.
I definitely, I'm looking for more to talk at. Like, I went to the one that I used to go to, and they don't let people come in. Like, I could donate stuff, so I've donated like clothes and things like that. Because when I was in there, they would just give us kind of like these bags. Like, if you ever went and dropped clothes in one of those boxes, that those could go end up in a group home. So, like, it would be so much random assorted. So, like, on my birthday, I think 3 years ago, I just said, like, anybody that wants to give me something for my birthday, I'll take the bread and donate, like, clothes to the group home. Because I didn't want to give them cash either. You know, they go, it'd be funny with the cash.
Yeah.
So, I got, like, Nike suits for all the kids. I got them some, like, kicks, like, all that stuff. And I think that was a big thing for me. It came full circle just to, like, give back, you know?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is what you do for your community, you know?
And where you came from.
Yeah, you never forget, one, you never forget where you came from, but then two, you always have to give back and maybe make it a little easier for those around you, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sure that experience really impacted who you are today. You're probably a lot more humbler because of that.
100%.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's, again, like, when it comes full circle, it hits you different being in there, I could imagine. Because, like, I know when I was there, if I had met somebody that had left and actually did something, I would have been more inspired. Because a lot of times, you know, you young, you 15, 16 years old, and you in here, you don't really have a good, like, a well-rounded view on the world. And, you know, if somebody comes back and tells you they did something other than get sent upstate, that's got to be
some motivating factor.
Yeah,
real motivating factor.
I would have been hyped. If somebody that had been in came when I was there was like, here's some clothes, you know, like, I'm doing radio. I'm like, oh, all right.
Well, actually, in the residential that I worked at, Styles P came through, LL Cool J came through, Kevin Lyles. I mean, some real legendary people came through over there. Allen Houston, former New York
From everything, music, sports, all that.
Yeah. So I shout out those people for really, like, bringing, like, a good, solid program to the kids that, you know, a lot of these kids don't got no choice.
At all,
The residential is better than home. All right. So let's talk about that. That transition is awesome. Then landing on Hot 97. How did you get that spot?
How did you finesse that?
How did you finesse that spot? Let's talk about that.
A little sprinkle. Nah, I mean, that started in the group home, actually. So they would give us, like, weekly, they would walk us to the library. It's like maybe 15, 20-minute walk from the house. And we would line up, we walk to the library, and they would let us get the computer for like a half hour. So I would go on MySpace and kind of just dig through and find music and, like, download a lot of stuff. But I started hitting up everybody that worked at Hot 87 at the time through MySpace because I was like, well, you know, everybody at Hot's obviously into music. And before this, I was like, you know, when I was a kid, I saw mixtapes and stuff. So I knew a lot of the DJs through that. And being in the group home, hitting them on MySpace, I was able to connect with Rosenberg. And then, I mean, a lot of things happened between getting out of the group home and actually getting on Hot. But like once I tapped in with Rosenberg, you know, it was just like a series of events that kind of just like, I always say it chose me. Like there was nothing I could really do to kind of like get my foot in the door besides like go to school and get an internship. But I was like working at a barbershop, a pharmacy.
Yeah, and even
everything.
going to school and getting an internship, it doesn't guarantee that you get on the radio.
Oh,
it doesn't guarantee you get in front of the camera.
There's no guarantee.
So, you know, so obviously there was something about you that made you worthwhile. You brought something to the station, right? So let's talk about that. What did you bring? What was so unique about you, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I think it's the jobs. Like those jobs I had between leaving a group home and ending up on Hot really like subconsciously prepared me for what radio was going to be, because the barbershop was just a lot of shit talk.
Okay.
Like I could curse on here, right?
Yeah, of course.
The barbershop's a lot of shit talk, and you know when you get good at talking shit, that helps. Obviously in radio, I sold beds at Sleepy's, so I kind of understood like the corporate world a little bit of like looking at
sales and money. And
exactly.
Yes, they're gonna gravitate towards what makes them money. That's the bottom line.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I mean that helped a lot. I worked at restaurants, so like just the working long hours and finessing like. And then you put all of it together, and at Hot, you know, there's some people I built with that I would cut their hair. There's other people that it's like I helped Ebro get a mattress one time.
You was the do-it-all guy over there.
You gotta be.
You made yourself useful.
You were the go-to guy. You were like the 6-man over there. You were the go-to guy.
Well, I didn't know I wanted to be on radio. Like at the time, I never thought I was going to talk on air. Like it's just something that you're like at Hot 97 of all places. The day you get in, it's like you got to do a smaller market. Like don't expect to get on radio.
Yeah.
So it took a long time, and I think that really helped out a lot, was having relationships that wasn't based on, yo, can you get me on? It was more just like, you know, people kind of rely on me.
I'm your barber and you owe me a favor.
or just an organic relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Just it being all purely organic. Kind of like what a lot of people talk about. I know this person before something else, and then now we do this together. Yeah. Right?
You could feel when somebody wants something from you. Like I noticed that with other people I worked with that really wanted to be on air, they would get themselves caught up like trying to kind of run. Where with me, I didn't know what I wanted. So when the time came, like they had an overnight slot open up, it was like, well, who's going to show up on time and be reliable? It wasn't so much who's got the talent, more than like who can we trust.
Consistency.
Exactly. I remember when you got that overnight spot. And I'm going to keep it real. I was like, who the hell is this guy? And why does he get the right to do this?
Because he was consistent.
And I mean, but we didn't know from the outside looking in.
Nah, I mean,
no disrespect.
Nah, it was all
very
good.
Respectfully. But then I was like looking for from the outside, and I'm like, let me see what I did.
Yeah. I was more surprised to be on at all. Like
I was like looking for a reason to hate on you. I'm gonna keep it real. I was looking for a reason to hate.
There's a lot.
Because I was like, man, I wanted to be that guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck.
I mean, until you get voice. There. Nah.
But you got a pretty dope radio voice.
Radio
Pause. You got a pretty dope radio voice. I'm not gonna hold you. You got a good radio voice.
You do.
Your voice is clear. You talk. I'm me. Forget about that.
He's a wild animal. Nobody can control him. So.
I was looking for a reason to hate on him. I said, nah, but the voice is alright. He got the voice. And then when you started playing the up and coming hip hop, and like,
he got the ear too.
I was like, oh,
I love hip hop. Like the music, I love. Like the voice.
You got. That's when you was. I was like, yo, I'm sold. All right. I like it. I like it now.
He got the ear.
Yeah.
I mean, I always said I never thought it made any sense for me to be on radio. Like to this day, to tell y'all the truth, like. I didn't think, outside of knowing music, I wasn't a broadcasting dude. Like I didn't know much about radio. Like, but again, I think for Hot 97 in particular, they weren't looking for somebody that's gonna come in and be the next Flex or Ebro or Rosenberg. It's more like we have this job, and if somebody could come and just shout out Summer Jam every hour or shout out Ebro's coming up next,
we good with that.
Yeah, and again, I wasn't branding myself at the time.
So let's talk a little bit about
like that, bro. What?
I don't like it either.
I'm sorry. I don't like that part. I got it. You know, shout out to Hot 97.
Yeah.
Summer Jams and everything that I've done for hip hop.
I love Hot
But at sometime or another, we got to be passing the torch.
It's tricky. I have my own take on it. Like
put me on. I need to know.
A lot of people feel like these guys got to step aside and let the youth evolve. And,
absolutely.
And most of the country, that's how it happens. But I noticed in New York, and not just radio, you could work at a union, you could work damn near any job. With radio though specifically, where are you gonna go? Like if you work your ass off and you do these small markets like Ebro did in the Bay, and you know Flex been in this forever, you know where are you going from high? If you're at the best union job site, you making the most money an hour, where are you going? So I do think there needs to be space. Like in my personal opinion, I don't think some of these guys should be on 50, 60 hours a week. But I wouldn't listen to radio at the same time in New York if Flex didn't have a slot. Mm-hmm. So I think it's about figuring out who does what. And for me, I think the reason I've been able to break through with anybody, including yourself, like people that didn't mess with me, is I always was very genuine and true to what I'm doing. Like it wasn't about me sitting with big artists, but more so of like, I'm going to sit with people that make sense for me. So when people are looking at that from the outside in, like even as a DJ, I've never called myself a DJ. I could spin a little bit, but like when I see what K Slade does, he doesn't even touch a laptop. That man dropping CDs and records, and
he's amazing. He's amazing.
So I don't take people's money as a DJ because I respect the DJ too much, and I'm not gonna just sit with a big artist because they hit me. If French Montana hits me, I'm hitting Ebro or Funk like, yo, this for y'all. But the youth, I think I had that lane on Smash, and
definitely that's a great lane to be in, though.
Awesome.
Like you know, you're hitting them and you're interacting with them right before their peak, and that's lovely. Like you get them at their genuine self.
I mean, and I love the music they making because it's more true to who I'm around. Like you know, I'm outside like with a lot of these Instagram kids that listen to that. So that's my thing with Hot is like some of the older guys they'll want to sit with the younger kids because they get clicks, you know, but. It's not for me. It's not about the clicks.
Why?
You know why? If you get a million clicks,
set in their ways.
Yeah, I mean
that's what it is.
I always say it like this: if you got an uncle and you go to a barbecue with your family, your uncle's there, and you bring a really beautiful girl that's your age, you vibing. Yeah, your uncle's always gonna think they got it.